Shalom Mishpacha, great news. They're finally here. The new 2024 Hebrew Scenic calendars have arrived and they look amazing, family. At Israel Exchange, we chose to take on the task of getting familiar with the feast days and learning more about Yah's laws and commands. We also wanted to help those in the faith that are looking for a simple way to incorporate the appointed times into their lives. And so with the help of some dear friends, we came up with a remarkable decorative wall calendar just for you. Enjoy the scenic pages and dive into supportive scripture that details times of the year associated with love of truth. The new year has just begun, and the 2024 Hebrew calendar is a great way to organize your seasons, plan time for gathering, or create time for your own spiritual journey. There's still time to get your copy, so hurry while they last. Visit IsraelExchange.com to get yours.
Yo, this shit OP.
I call that one here Black Excellent because I'm black and I'm excellent. Black Excellence. Black Excellence. We gotta stick together, man. That's what we gotta do. Hey. Black excellence, I'm stressing it. My testimony confessing it. Middle finger to the law and every flag that's Confederate. From the bottom we came, but we still rolling like some tires. Trying to get a grip on life, gotta hold it like some pliers. In order to judge the man, you must know his heart. In order to find the light, you must know it's dark. God, I speak from within, but they ain't feeling me. Protect me from my friends, cause my friends are my enemies. Black excellence, young scholar, specialist, big stepper like an elephant. Everybody closet got skeletons. I done read David, and I done read Moses. When I die, on my casket put red roses. Woo, for us, by us, FUBU. But you knew they say I'm going crazy, psycho.
You set the kingdom up to others like you Guinea. Deuteronomy 4 and 6, I pray that's sin in you. All this darkness in the world, you feeling. We supposed to be the light when we witnessing. Are you a disciple of the light? Only time will tell. By your fruits, you done made that boy a child of hell. Why we put him in slavery before we preach the gospel? We supposed to tear down their customs, not the people y'all humbled ourselves. Seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Christ, they teach the law, so in your mind is where you supposed to be. Do what they say, not as they do, they emojis see. Abba opened up my eyes, took a hold of me. They mad that he deserving y'all, hey, how it supposed to be. How you mad that he deserving your God? Abba, please break these yokes off. Help us understand that we were chosen to lead. I pray this word get in their heart if they don't smoke the seed. Leviticus 19:34, don't twist that. Matthew 8 verse 11, don't miss that. Many fishes in the sea, throw your fish net. Let everything that have breath, don't switch that. Supposed to be walking like Messiah, and I just quote scriptures. A wise man to win souls, pray that go with you. I used to be a Pharisee, had that hate up in my heart when I could barely see. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Humbled ourselves, seek your face, on my knees, I'll show us the way. Christ is the way.
Humble yourself. Yahushua is the way, the truth, and the life.
It's the book of Isaiah chapter 2. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it came to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Most High's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up into the mountain of the Most High, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the Torah, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem. Eyes to the east.
All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I pray everybody is well. Quick mic check. Can I have a 7 if I can be heard? Oh, I think I hear myself. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. Slight delay, but I think that is all right. I got a 7, I got an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome, 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 everybody. It's a blessing to be with y'all today. Another Shabbat. Another day that the Most High has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Yes. Did you listen to the lyrics of that song? So, the Hezekiah did this song, and I think it's called "Letter to the Nation," if I'm thinking about that correctly. Produced by DJ Taz, I believe, and it's talking about humbling thyself. And when it came on in the room, I had thought, I said, "Wow, this reminds me of some situations among Israel where Israel is not really humbling themselves." So I hope that my son's friend don't mind me sharing this story. Our college age son, Melak, has a friend that is mixed. His father is African American. I'm using my air quotes. And his mother is a Gentile. And him and our college age son are friends. And he was playing video games with someone that knows their brew online. So you know how the children do these days. You know, they play these online video games with the headsets, and they chat and talk to each other while they're playing. But they can see each other. So they playing a video game. The brew is talking to this mixed young man about being a brew. Everything's going smooth while they playing the game at first. But you know, the more they get into the game and the more the competitiveness creeps up, they mess talking creeps up. And my son's friend winds up smashing this boy on a video game, meaning he beats him bad, it sounds like. And this Hebrew Israelite, before he gets off this video game, like hurries up and says, "That's why you're an Edomite and you're going to hell." And then gets off the game. Come on, man. We can't do this, Israel. We can't run around here operating like that. Like, you was having conversation with him and you was just fine all while y'all was playing the game. But as soon as he beats you, now you mad. Now he an Edomite and he going to hell. Yeah, you forgot your mic. Yeah, that is funny. So, you know, the young man, I'm trying not to use his name. So he had to go to Melak and then ask him, what is he talking about? What does that mean? He called me Edomite, said I'm going to hell. So now Melak had to learning opportunity, as explaining to him what an Edomite is, but also at the same time has explained the camp dynamic, what's going on among Israel, how is some wicked Israelites out there. As a matter of fact, after investigating a little bit, even according to what the so-called brew believes, this young man will still be an Israelite because his father is an Israelite. So he would still be technically an Israelite. But I said, that's just how ignorant our people are. Now you done haul off and insulted this man and condemned him to the lake of fire because he whooped your head in the video game. And now you mad. Come on. You can't do this. What'd you say, sis? Culty said gamers lose their minds over. Yeah, I hear you. It's crazy. All right. So let me bring in our guest. We'll keep on with this conversation. I got a guest reader with me today. Drum roll, please. We're gonna bring to the stage Indigo. Shabbat Shalom, Indigo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I need a button so I can have some applause when y'all come on. How you doing today? Network, just in case we need to switch that. A lot better? Okay, hallelujah. Coty says it's not funny, man, to call him an Edomite.
Yeah.
Then hang up. Yeah.
What about me, y'all? Mic check.
Can you guys hear Reb if she does a mic check?
Mic check. Instructions to put on the mic.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hallelujah.
Okay.
That makes it better.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone entering the room. Hallelujah. Okay, good deal. I think we in there. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to this brother sing this song, man. We so quick to condemn, and then you want to judge somebody by their skin tone and presume this and presume that. There's another thing Melak had to tell them is that it's dark skinned Edomites. It's Edomites that's blacker than all of us. Toda. Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's something else, man. We were something else we were just talking about this morning I was going to bring up. Lost my train of thought.
It was the song we was watching?
Was
it something we was watching this morning?
It might have been. Right now, the only thing I'm thinking about is this brother that did this video against the Sabbath.
Oh yeah,
saying you don't have to keep the Sabbath, but that's not what I was. That's what I want. Not what I wanted to bring up.
Indigo, why don't you go ahead and plug y'all video? Y'all did really good on the video they did on what was it? The Days of Noah.
You really did. You really did.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't, please go subscribe,
head over
like,
to
share.
our channel. Jacob Study. That's the name of it.
All right. So you are on the way to school. You're gonna be dealing with other students and telling them about your walk and explaining to the I started to say teachers, but once you're in college, it's professors why you need days off. Your older brother and Anaya have run into some issues with professors that want to check Jewish dates, Israeli, Khazarian calendars, and tell them that they don't know what they're talking about because dates they requesting off don't line up with the Jewish calendar and all of that. What you gonna do about all that when you get up there?
I'll show them the days I need. I'll bring my calendar to them if I have to. Shoot, I'll bring them
And they're gonna be like,
links
"No,
to
we
the
don't
videos
acknowledge
here
that. You're gonna have to show up to class, or we're failing you." And you're gonna say what?
You can show up to court. That's my religious observation.
You say, "Well, they can show up to court." Huh? I'm with you on that. That's my method. I'm gonna send you. Why would I send you this paperwork?
If I gotta show up to
I'll
class,
have my attorney send you this paperwork. Dang, hallelujah. It's on the books, family. For y'all that don't know, if you have and we say religious observation for the sake of their understanding. We don't believe it's a religion. we believe is our culture, right? It's our inheritance, our heritage. But if they need to understand it by using the words that they're familiar with, yes, religious observation, religious accommodation, submit the paperwork, document it, make a paper trail, so that when you do have to go to an attorney, it's all documented.
They're not even supposed to ask you to explain yourself.
They
You
are not.
to prove this. Remember that the Gentile came up with the religion, spaghetti religion,
Yeah,
and he worshipped the spaghetti god.
that's right.
And he just told his boss, "I can't come to work tomorrow. It's
That's right.
spaghetti day."
That's right. You're gonna use Sodom and
Right.
Gomorrah's own law against them.
Hmm.
According to this upside down place, you could worship a slice of cheese, and they have to acknowledge it. Just
I'm pretty sure they'll
because
give me less pushback
less trouble.
if I told them I worship a slice of cheese. They'll give me less trouble.
Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. Um, what I find to be a common retort or response from them is, I believe Sunday is the day that we supposed to worship, but I got to work, so I don't, not work on Sundays. I can not work some Sundays, but I can't not work every Sunday. And if I do respond to that, my response is something really simple, like, just because you don't choose to be in a committed relationship with what you believe in, don't mean I'm not going to be in a committed relationship with what I believe. That's called infidelity.
Just because you half-ass your walk,
Basically,
yeah.
yeah. Dang. Coach said,
Does that say Howell?
I'm scared to pronounce it. Sis. I'm not sure what that is you wrote there, is what I say. And I love to pull their SOP, yep, on religious accommodation. Came 100%. 100%. It's on the books.
Maybe she
Yep.
meant oh well.
Oh, well.
Like oh well.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. Gotcha.
No, she
The
said,
garden tool.
she
Oh,
said,
that is what you were saying. Okay. That's what I thought you were saying. That's what I was scared you were saying. Got you. Got you. Okay. So look, I see right now that this internet connection is being a little finicky. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and dig into this. All right. Indigo, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm trying a little something different today. I'm wanting to try to use Bible Gateway. Let's see how that works out. See how this goes. All right, so we are picking up in 2 Kings chapter 19. Whenever you're ready, Indigo.
Alrighty. 2 Kings chapter 19. And it came to be, when Sovereign Hiskiyahu heard it, that he tore his garments and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of Yahuwah, and sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covering themselves with sackcloth, to Yeshayahu the prophet, son of Amoz. And they said to him, Thus said Hezekiah, this day is a day of distress and rebuke and scorn, for the children have come to birth, but there is no power to bring forth. It could be that Yahuwah our Elohim does hear all the words of Rabshak, I think, whom his master, the sovereign of Ashur, had sent to reproach the living Elohim, and shall rebuke the words which Yahuwah your Elohim has heard. Therefore, lift up your prayer for the remnant that is left. And the servants of sovereign Hiskiah came to Yeshayahu, and Yeshayahu said to them, Say this to your master. Thus said Yahuwah, Do not be afraid of the words which you have heard, with which the servants of the sovereign of Ashur have reviled me. See, I am putting a spirit upon him, and he shall hear a report and return to his own land, and I shall cause him to fall by the sword in his land. And Rabshakeh returned and found the sovereign of Ashur fighting against Libnah, for he had heard that he had left Lachish. And the sovereign heard concerning Tirach, sovereign of Cush, See, he has come out to fight against you. He again sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, Speak to Hezekiah, sovereign of Yehudah, saying, Do not let your Elohim, in whom you trust, deceive you, saying, Jerusalem is not given into the hand of the sovereign of Ashur.
Pause for just a
See,
second.
you have heard what the sovereign of Ashur have done to all the land.
Yep. Real quick, and I apologize. So, I know we've got a little bit of a delay, but I was thinking about this last week when we were reading. So, we are talking about the southern tribes, Israel, the 10 tribes, being taken into captivity by, as Indigo is reading about Ashur, and as you guys see on the screen in the KJV, it says Assyria. So this is the Assyrian captivity, right? But last week we talked about it after we wrapped up, me and Red, but you reading that this is happening in a place called Lachish. And we forgot to mention it on camera last week during the recording. So this place where Assyria came and took the 10 tribes and also tried to take Judah, we're reading about this happening in Lachish. And when you are doing your studying, your research, and you see all these videos with these brews showing artifacts and relics proving what Israel looked like, one of the big deals is referred to as the Lachish relief, right? And on that Lachish relief, you see the brews in chains on the way into this captivity. And you see them etched into that relief with beards and nappy hair or woolly hair, however you want to phrase that, braids, tassels, all this stuff there, right? So when you hear about that Lachish relief, this is why it's so significant. This was something that memorialized the event that we read about. Does that make sense? Shabbat shalom, everybody just coming in. Okay, just wanted to add that in there as you read it, because this is a very significant thing that's taking place here. Okay, go ahead. I apologize for interrupting.
Let me find the verse real quick. Picking up at verse 11. Mm-hmm. See, you have heard what the sovereigns of Ashur have done to all lands by putting them under the ban. Are you going to be delivered? Have the mighty ones of the nations delivered those whom my fathers have destroyed, Gozan and Haran and Retseph, and the sons of Eden who were in Telassar? Where is the sovereign of Hamath, and the sovereign of Arpad, and the sovereign of the city of Sepharvaim, Henah and Iwah? And Hiskiah received the letters from the hand of the messengers and read them, and went up to the house of Yahuwah, and Hiskiah spread it before Yahuwah. And Hiskiah prayed before Yahuwah and said, O Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, the one who dwells between the cherubim, you are Elohim, you alone of all the reigns of the earth. You have made the heavens and the earth. Incline your ear, O Yahuwah, and hear. Open your eyes, O Yahuwah, and see. And hear the words of Sennacherib, which he has sent to reproach the living Elohim. Truly Yahuwah, the sovereigns of Ashur, have laid waste the nations of their lands, and have put mighty ones into the fire, for they were not mighty ones, but the
Power.
work of men's
Dang.
hands, wood and stone, and destroyed them. And now, O Yahuwah, our Elohim, I pray, save us from his hand, so that all the reigns of the earth know that you are Yahuwah Elohim, you alone. Then Yeshayahu, son of Amatz, sent to Hiskiyahu, saying, Thus said Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, I have heard that which you have prayed to me against Sennacherib, sovereign of Ashur. This is the word which Yahuwah has spoken concerning him. The maiden of the daughter of Zion has despised you, mocked you. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head behind you. Whom have you reproached and reviled? Against whom have you raised a voice? And lift up your eyes on high against the set apart one And against whom have you raised your voice and lifted up your eyes on high? Against the set apart one of Israel. By the hand of the messengers you have reproached Yahuwah and said, With my many chariots I have come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and I cut down its tall cedars, its choice cypress trees, and I enter its remotest parts, its thickest forests. I have dug and drunk strange water, and with the soles of my feet I dry up all the streams of defense. Have you not heard? Long ago I made it. From days of old I formed it. Now I have brought it to be that you should make walled cities ruinous heaps, and their inhabitants were powerless, and they were overthrown and put to shame, and they were as the grass of the field and the green plants, as the grass on top of on housetops, and withered before it came up, as the grass on the housetops and withered before it came up. But now you're sitting down, and you're going out, and you're coming in, and your rage against me. Because your rage against me and your pride have come up to my ears, I shall put my hook in your nose and my bridle in your lips, and I shall turn you back by the way which you came. And this is a sign for you. This year you eat what grows of itself, and in the second year what springs from that, and in the third year sow and reap the plant vineyards and eat their fruit. And the remnant who has escaped of the house of Yehudah shall again take root downward and be fruitful. For out of Jerusalem comes forth a remnant, and those who escape from Mount Zion, the ardor of Yahuwah does this. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah concerning the sovereign of Ashur, he does not come into the city, nor does he shoot an arrow there, nor does he come before it with shield, nor does he build a siege mound against it. By the way he came, by the same he turns back. He does not come into the city, declares Yahuwah. And I shall defend the city to save it, for my own sake, and for the sake of David my servant. And it came to be in that night that the messenger of Yahuwah went out and struck in the camp of Ashur 185,000. And they rose up early in the morning and saw all of them dead bodies. And Sennacherib, sovereign of Ashur, broke camp and went away and turned back and remained in Nineveh. And it came to be, as he was bowing himself in the house of Nisroch, his mighty one, that his sons Adramelech and Sharezer struck him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Ararat, and his son Esarhaddon reigned in his place.
Wow. His own sons killed him and ran off. That's crazy. So, some interesting things happening there. We see the appearance of Yeshayahu Yeshua, Isaiah. Even though we're not in the book of Isaiah yet, we see that he is the prophet that is relaying what thus says Yahuwah to Hezekiah or Hizkiah. This is really interesting. Yah is making it known at this point exactly how and why he is allowing Sennacherib, or however you pronounce his name, the Assyrian king, to run amok. He's like, everything that you've done is because I'm the one that has allowed you to do these things. You don't get that, huh? All of these nations you done turned into heaps, these mountains you turned into molehills because I allowed it. And now here you are flaring up at me as if you something when you're nothing. And he tells him, I'm gonna put my hook in your nose and turn you back the way you came. That's hardcore. That's tough. That's something else. I got a visual of that. That's really crazy. Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into chapter 20. I don't know how I like reading it from Bible Gateway, but I'm gonna try to continue for this one. Let's see. Okay. So, in those days was Hezekiah or Hizkiah sick unto death. And the prophet Yeshua, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus says the master, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. Then he turned his face to the well and prayed unto the master, saying, I beseech thee, O master, remember now how I have walked before you in truth and with perfect heart, and have done that which was good in your sight. And Hizkiah wept sore. And it came to pass, afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of the master came to him, saying, Turn again and tell Hizkiah, the captain of my people, thus says the master, the power of David, thy father. I have heard your prayer, I have seen your tears. Behold, I will heal you. On the third day, you will go out unto the house of the master. And I will add unto your days 15 years, and I will deliver you, thee, and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. I meant to comment on that before from the chapter you read, because clearly he says why he's doing this. He's not doing this because Judah was so righteous, because we read that Judah did some of the same wicked things that Israel did. But he says, for my own sake, and we see this reiterated in the book of Ezekiel or Jeremiah, I believe. My family make fun of me because they said them your favorite prophets. Every prophet quote I say is from Ezekiel or Jeremiah. But in one of those he says, for my name's sake. Right? Jeremiah? Is that where it comes from? For my name's sake. And then he also says, for my servant David.
I think so.
Right? It's not Judah. It's not our righteousness. It's not the righteousness of the Levites. Because we read already that the Levites aren't doing what they're supposed to do all the time. Some of them are, but not all the time. So he's doing this to preserve his name, right? And because there's a prophecy of one coming that's going to be risen, I'm thinking how to conjugate that, risen up like Moses, that's going to set everything in order, which is Messiah, right? Okay. Verse 7. And Yeshua said, take a lump of figs, and they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. Ooh, the boils. And Hizkiah said unto Yeshua or Isaiah, what shall be the sign that the master will heal me? And that I shall go up into the house of the master the third day. And Isaiah said, the sign you have of the master, that the master will do the thing that he has spoken, shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? So he's asking him. It's going to be up to you. And Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees, nay, but let the shadow return backwards 10 degrees. And Yeshua the prophet cried unto the master, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. What was that dial? It was a sundial.
Like
One of the things we talked
sundial?
about when we talked about getting these calendar things correct. Yeah. So Ahaz had a sundial, and they saw that. And this is the second time we read about. We haven't got. Yes, we did. The first time we read about that the Most High did something with the sun after creation was when he held the sun at the request of Joshua of Nun, so that he could completely destroy his enemies when they were chasing them down. Some people say that because of that, we now have an uneven number in the calendar cycle. Scripture don't say that, but there are some that say that. I don't believe that. Anyway. 12. At that time, that's a name there. Berodak Baladan. Berodak, y'all ain't gonna get me like last time. Berodak Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of his precious things, the silver, the gold. I don't know, that might not have been a great idea. The spices, the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. Then came Yeshua the prophet unto Hezekiah, saying unto him, what said these men? And from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, they come from a far country, even from Babylon. Dun, dun, dun. Foreshadowing. Then he said, what have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, all the things that are in my house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. I feel like we know better than this these days, to just have folks come in and show them your safe and your wife, and you just showing them everything. Oh yeah, this is a changing room over here. This is where I keep my guns at over here. And look, I got a secret stash over there, and a backup stash out there.
Pulling up your bank accounts on the computer.
Yeah, let me show you my bank accounts. Come on, Hezekiah. Goodness, man. Okay. And Isaiah, Yeshua, said unto Hezekiah, hear the word of the master. Behold, the days come that all that is in your house and that which your fathers have laid up in storage unto this day. It says in store, but that's what that's saying. Unto this day shall be carried into Babylon. Nothing shall be left, says the master. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Y'all know what that means. Then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, Good is the word of the master which thou hast spoken. And he said, is it not good if peace and truth be in my days? And the rest of the acts of Hiskiah and all his might, and how he made a pool and a conduit and brought water into the city. Are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Hiskiah slept with his fathers, and Manasseh reigned in his stead. My man said, long as it don't happen while I'm alive. Brother. My man. He got 15 more years. He said, listen, I got 15 more years. Not worried about it. It also says that Hiskiah created a system to get water flowing into the city. Several of these kings did things to improve upon what had been done from the ones that came before them. Interesting. Imah said, never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Cain, that's what the elders used to say. Cain, Imah. 100%. We hear you. You ready?
You can't hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. You're back. You ready?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, the last 10 minutes I couldn't hear or see anything.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, here's where we are. We are picking up in verse 21. I think we got about 13 verses apiece. You ready?
Gotcha.
Whenever
Yeah.
you're ready. Okay.
All right. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hephzibah. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, according to the abominations of the nations whom Yah disposed before the children of Israel. For he turned and built the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed, and raised up slaughter places for Baal, and made an Asherah as Ahab, sovereign of Israel, had done. And he bowed himself to all the hosts of the heavens, and served them. And he built slaughter places in the house of Yahuwah, of which Yahuwah has said, in Jerusalem I put my name. And he built slaughter places for all the hosts of the heavens in the 2 courtyards of the house of Yahuwah. And he made his son pass through the fire and practice magic and used. Did he sacrifice his son? Wait. Sorry, it just went out again, but did he just, let's say he passed his son through the fire? He sacrificed him?
That's what it said. You said it. You read it. He did. Listen, this man did all kind of wickedness in the Bible. It's like if you wasn't sure what we just read, where y'all said, I'm finna allow Babylon to come in here and take everything you got, and he gonna take your sons up out of here. He said, that which issues forth from you, I'm reading the KJV version, meaning his progeny, gonna come up out of here and they're gonna be eunuchs. I felt a little bad at first. Not no more. My goodness, man.
I think it's the reason why scripture mentioned his mom, because if he was 12,
she was doing a lot. Yeah.
I mean, she was one leading the charge.
That's correct. If he was 12 reigning, then at least to the time he was probably in his 20s. She definitely had a heavy influence in his life, and probably on what the kingdom was doing and the direction the kingdom was going. But yes, my man did all. Say that again, Indigo.
She was behind the decisions that he made.
That would make sense to me. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Alrighty. Picking up in 6. And he practiced magic and used divination and consulted spiritists and mediums. He did much evil in the eyes of Yahuwah and provoke him. And he placed a carved image of Ashereth that he had made in the house of which Yahuwah had said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I put my name forever. And no more shall I cause the feet of Israel to move from the soil which I gave their fathers, only if they guard to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the Torah that my servant Moshe commanded them. But they did not obey, and Manasseh led them astray to do more evil than the nations, whom Yahuwah had destroyed before the children of Israel. 1 second. And Yahuwah spoke
Seduced them
by
to
his
do more
servants
evil
the
than the nations.
Oh, I just realized you were reading a different translation.
Yeah, it's okay.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes. It's a slight delay, but we can still hear you.
Alright, picking up at verse 11. Because Manasseh, sovereign of Yehudah, has done these abominations, having done more evil than all the Amorites who were before him, and also made Yehudah sin with his idols. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, See, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Yehudah, that both ears of those who hear of it shall tingle. And I shall stretch over Jerusalem the measure line of Shomeron, and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and shall wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down.
Wow. My goodness. Such evil upon Jerusalem, that's the place, and Judah, that those who hear it, ears shall tingle. Man. 14. And I will make the remnant of my inheritance, and I will forsake, the remnant of my inheritance, and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies, because they have done that which was evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger, since the day their fathers came out of Egypt unto this day. Moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, besides his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, in doing that which was evil in the sight of the master. Now, the rest of the acts of Manasseh and all that he did, and his sin that he sinned, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Yehudah? And Manasseh slept with his fathers, and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah, and Ammon, his son, reigned in his stead. Ammon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Meshulameth. Yep, the daughter of Haruz of Jothbah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the master, as well as his father Manasseh did. And he walked in the way that his father walked in, and served the idols that his father served, and worshipped them. And he forsook the master Yahuwah of all of his fathers, and walked not in the way of the master. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and slew the king in his own house. Man. And the people of the land slew all them that had conspired against King Ammon. And the people of the land made Josiah, his son, king in his stead. Now the rest of the acts of Ammon, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And He was buried in his sepulcher in the garden of Uzzah, and Josiah his son reigned in his stead. My. Whew. So we have a pattern here of Judah. First it was the 10 tribes before he dispersed them among the Assyrian kingdom. We have a pattern here of Judah also doing wickedness, and Yahuwah saying, okay, I'm gonna bring this evil on you, or I'm gonna do this to you because you have not done what you covenanted with me to do. That being said, the difference in these captivities where we get taken away and this most recent captivity is these other nations did not completely strip us of our knowledge of our history, right? These captivities lasted for some time, but this 400-year captivity was the one where he says, I will cause them to lose their inheritance. Knowledge of who they are. I'm butchering that. I will cause them to lose knowledge of who they are. And that's what happened. That's the big difference in this. Man, it's serious business. Koti wrote, Manasseh wrote the prayer to Yah in the Apocrypha, asking for forgiveness and telling Israel to repent. You're talking about Manasseh of Jacob's sons. Talking about the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs, sis? Maybe, I think. Okay. I thought of what I was trying to think of before we started reading.
You talk about Joseph's son?
Oh, Joseph's son. Yes. Gotcha. So, I know I encourage commenting under these videos when we post the replays. I may have put my foot in my mouth because I got a comment, the Manasseh prayer. Okay, sis, I'm gonna have to revisit that. Hold on. Got a comment from a brother. Y'all may have seen it. I didn't take it down because I thought it was interesting. It's very long. It's the one that's very long. Can't miss it. If you could put a face or a personage to the line in the line that I think it's the Jizzle or the RZA say, it's the prominent, dominant Islamic, Asiatic, Black, Hebrew. This guy, like, he embodied that. My man talking about Ankhs, talking about Chi, he talking about Yah, he talking about just like
just a cesspool.
Just you just took everything and mixed it together. And this is one of those comments that I just like, I had thoughts on it, but I just chose not to engage. Okay, sis. I got you. So, Koti said that the prayer in the Apocrypha is written by King Manasseh.
That's Ema.
Oh, Ema. Okay, Toda. I apologize. Okay, Toda. I'm gonna have to revisit that. Hallelujah for that.
So what they're saying that at some point Manasseh got to repent.
Realize that he messed up.
Hey, hallelujah.
Dang. They say a day late and a dollar short.
Hey, but sometimes it's better than never.
No, I mean for the kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What you say, Red? I mean, Lil Red, Mini Red. What'd you say? That's you, Indigo.
Oh, okay. Now I was saying it's crazy. He repented and wrote that prayer probably on his deathbed, But his son had already witnessed how he ruled and decided to continue like he did. He probably thought his father was weak for changing his mind or trying to turn back and ended up getting murdered. So,
You know, I was thinking about the power that Ashereth have over us to this day. You know, even our people. You know, we have got it to a point where we invited in our house every year during Christmas
The
time,
Asher room. Yep.
and it's just like, you know, what did I say, Ashereth?
No, that's correct.
Asher. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that has been a stumbling block for us for so long, a stronghold for so long. Do you remember the warm feelings you used to get around Christmas time? Like you know, they get to saying that, you know, the Christmas spirit. Yeah.
Look a lot like Christmas.
It's a comforting. Because the first thing Manasseh did was re-establish the tree. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, to this day, it's crazy how the blood remembers. To this day, you know, we find comfort in that. You know, I remember when we first came into truth, and I was stripping myself of, you know, the lies and, you know, getting rid of that tree and stopping, like checking myself every time I seen a tree and wanted to get warm feelings. You know, just like,
you know, you got so many and this is witchcraft, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So many spells that come out around that season in the form of, we talking about spell casting, broadly casting spells, whether it's movies, a new Christmas Carol movie come out every so many years, right? The black versions of those movies, so now they got sold, and then the music. You know, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
No, you got to put that soul. That, you know, for us, they got the OJs.
The OJs, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that was the OJs, but I know the song.
This Christmas will be
a very special Christmas. Yeah, absolutely. You got you had the boys. Was it Boys to Men or Men One?
Yeah, Boys to Men got in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, but again, talking about broadcasting, technically, right? Talking about broadcasting. So these things go out over the radio. These things go out over, nowadays, the internet. But for us older folks, it was just over the television at one point, over the wire, and it puts you in that mood. Yeah. The music playing when you going into the store, right? It's like it's almost, it's like, yeah, it's water, family. I apologize. It's almost unavoidable, right? And you have to completely have your defenses up to guard your gates and to guard Torah. And here's something else I think about, and it's probably because I'm an Ak, because I'm a guy. Most of the stories that I hear when I talk to family members, Bruce, when I say families, I mean family members in the truth, of someone pulling the household back into that worship, is usually the wife.
Yeah.
In the stories I'm familiar with, I'm only speaking of my personal experience.
Yeah.
The wife, I'm bringing this tree in here. We celebrating Christmas. I'm tired of not celebrating Christmas. I'm tired of not being with my family. I'm tired of us not going to church. I could give you 3 or 4 off the top of my head, but I wouldn't put nobody's business out there. That the wife is like, I'm going back.
Fall back in that conflict.
And I'm taking my children.
Well, is it a coincidence that Abiyah called the woman the bet, the house? Yeah. Because, you know, she's the homemaker. Look, you know, before we introduced to Manasseh, we introduced his mom. Manasseh's 12.
That's what made me think about it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so a lot of times it is, and, you know, I hate to say that, you know, the feminist in me, you know, is roaring like a lion. But, you know, the feminist that's dead and gone, y'all done put her away. But you know what I'm saying? But it's true. You know, a lot of time it be the women needing to fall back on that comfort and pulling the household back into it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think that, and this ties into what I was thinking as Indigo was reading. I think that it is very important for us for these reasons to, first and foremost, we were discussing last week the role that the head plays in modeling a good example of not succumbing, but also building his house, cleaning his house, educating his house, educating the wife or the bride, them learning together, coming together as one, and continuing to grow and learn, not becoming stagnant in your walk, not becoming stale and thinking, okay,
Don't
enough. Yeah, don't get comfortable, right? And the other thing, as we just read it, is building and educating your children and making sure that your children have solid foundations.
Yeah.
Because as we can see, as we just read, if your children don't have a solid foundation and they feel like this is just something you doing and it ain't really for them, and they don't get it and they don't understand it, then the world is also out there doing what we just read, seducing them.
Yep.
These are seducing spirits.
And you see that to be the case a lot of time when you deal with brews who find the truth later on in life.
Yep.
And they're older children who kind of seen their parents in the world and loved them and got used to them that way when they do come into truth. So sometimes the older children have a hard time accepting it, where the younger ones who raised it and they, you know.
Hey. Do you have thoughts on that, being like one of our middle children, Indigo, that you we were coming into the truth when you were born, but we still had a lot of growing to do from the time your screen froze. From the time your screen froze with you looking crazy at the camera at the same time. From the time that you were born to now, it's been a journey. It's been a journey in our walk, learning things, getting rid of things that we find to be unclean, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and continuing to try to grow and show and prove to Yahuwah whether or not we can be good and worthy servants. So you've seen some things. What is your perspective on the transition of the parent and how it affects children? Because you got siblings older than you and younger than you.
You might repeat that one more time? It kind of just like blacked out and I couldn't hear and I see your question.
Yeah, no, I'm curious what your perspective is, because we were talking about, the importance of educating the children in this walk and giving them a solid foundation, and how sometimes the older children, when they've seen the parents in the world, don't really respect when the parents make a change and start walking in Torah. But you're kind of the in-between child in our household. But what's your perspective on like the parents walking, how it affects the children, being that you have older siblings and younger siblings?
Well, I can't really speak for my older siblings or my younger siblings, but as far as how it affected me, I know, right. How it affected me though, because I remember certain things when I was younger we didn't do, like we didn't keep the feast days, and like all the way down to how we used to keep the Shabbat, certain things that we didn't know were wrong that we were doing. And I remember when we made those changes and implemented those, honestly, I wasn't upset with any of them. I was kind of excited and I really embraced it with open arms. I can't really think of anything that you guys changed, because I remember every time you guys made a big decision like this, you guys were presented it with scriptures and show receipts for it and everything, and it made sense to me. So, I felt good about the decision and I went along with it. Honestly, I can't think of anything that you guys have changed that I was like, well, that's kind of hypocritical of you because for the longest time we've done it like this. I can't think of anything that made me feel like that.
Yeah, Indigo. Let me tell you who never got the warm, fuzzy feeling from the Christmas tree. Indigo.
Right. Yeah. Indigo is the one that was ready to put everybody in Michael's on blast.
Oh my goodness. We couldn't take her in Walmart or Michael's around the holidays. Cause she'd be so loud. She'd be like, this pagan, they going to hell, ain't they, mama?
Loud.
Like loud.
You know how children talk. They don't whisper in fear that somebody might hear them.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, Indigo.
I wasn't wrong.
Remember, and we would try to explain to her.
You were not wrong.
And
Messiah said, we got to be like babes. Babes are out there right out front with it. No fear. Like, this is right. That's that.
Yeah. But, we would try to explain to her, like, we live in the land of our captivity. And to them, especially like Gentiles, to them, this is their God, their power. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and we're their slaves, we're their captives. So when you see us following suit, we just following behind master,
Okay, absolutely. Which it's time for us to stop doing. Ema says, scripts and receipts can be a big help. It's hard for someone who wants to please the Most High to argue with the word. Hallelujah, Ema. Okay. I think that's a big deal. I think the other part of I think the other part of it too is, and this is a big one. I was talking to a brother about this during the week. The fear of Yah, right? I remember that the scripture says the fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom. Well, it's not wise to go out there doing things that are going to cause the Most High to do what we just read. He said he's going to do with Judah after Manasseh and his father had successive reigns of just doing the most wrong, doing the most wickedness, doing the most, you built up the altars that the kings before you tore down, that saved you, preserved you from getting taken into the Assyrian captivity. And now okay, that's over with. Now we can go ahead and put them altars back up. We can go ahead and bring the Christmas trees back in now. We good. Everything's clear. Danger. We clear the danger. No. And I've seen this in my own life. I've seen this in my own walk, where I'm like, okay, I've gotten through this. I did what I was supposed to do. Now I can go do something I ain't supposed to do. And it come right back on.
Oh yeah, every time.
Come right back on me. Like, oh.
Every time.
Dang. And
almost instantly.
That's right. It's like,
yeah.
What was I doing? I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Coty, you say that's Tyler, sis? And I really had to explain that to her. In school, she wants to correct. Yeah. It just is what it is. The example that I've started to take that helps me is Daniel. Daniel in the Babylonian captivity. It's like, it's your world. He understood what Yah was just saying to the king of Assyria. Yah put that king in rulership. Yah put Nebuchadnezzar as the head of that statue. So obviously, this is what Yah had in store. Like, man, it's your world. I'm just here trying to do what I do. If you could just allow me to praise and worship Yahuwah, eat clean foods, what you need? You need something from me? Yeah, let me go talk to Yah about it. I'll be good. Okay.
You didn't have another dream, player?
Yeah, okay. Another dream. Yeah. Let me beseech Abba Yah, because it ain't me.
Right.
If he give me something, I'll give it to you.
Now Daniel was the one that they told Nebuchadnezzar that he wasn't bowing down to.
That's Daniel.
Yeah.
That's Daniel. He liked that. We're gonna get to that. He liked Daniel. He let them convince him to put Daniel, and Uh, I prefer using their Hebrew names, but yeah,
Now Daniel was also the one with what was the occult's name? Savannah, or the pretty occultee who had married one of the pillars of the community, and the elders was lusting after her, and they tried to
that was
commission
Daniel.
her to
Oh
have
yeah, Savannah.
relationships with them.
Watching her bathe.
Savannah, yeah,
Yeah,
washing
that
her.
was Daniel.
So, did all that happen in Babylon, or was that in Jerusalem before they ended up in Babylon?
Susanna,
Susanna,
Savannah.
yeah, Susanna. Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. I told out for the correction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, because it
I
said
think
that
that was
the young
in
man.
around.
Okay.
What was that, Indigo?
I was saying, I remember reading it, and it was saying that at the time Daniel was a young man. So do you think it's like right when they were brought into Babylon, or right before they were brought into Babylon?
Not sure.
So this would mean those priests, or those, was this the beginning of the scribes and Pharisees, or the beginning of that you know, because I mean Babylon was very much like America today. So, our people had set up a whole belief system, way of life. It's when you're reading the scriptures, it's kind of hard to picture, because it sounds like King Nebuchadnezzar was involved in our day-to-day life, but
No,
the Bruce
was
had
not.
their own
So here's what happened.
cities and towns within Babylon.
The records of the historians read to show that in addition to Nebuchadnezzar taking all of the goods, the riches and everything like that, the fact that he removed Judah from their land meant that we did not have the temple anymore. We had Levites with us, but without the temple, the place to do those services was not any longer there. In the Babylonian captivity, the king of Judah couldn't be the king of Babylon, but was more looked at as, I believe the word was governor, was used. But among the Yehudim, they knew who was still of that bloodline. Yes. The practice of weekly for Shabbat, going to a place to fellowship, was instituted in the Babylonian captivity. The studied men of Israel, especially those of means that had money, were elevated to esteem, and they would begin to teach what was being meant in Torah. These became the scribes and the Pharisees. Yeah, there were some priests in there as well, but scribes and Pharisees does not always mean priests. Scribes may have been translated over. Some of the scribes that were among the priests may have continued over into the Babylonian captivity, but again, then elevated, right? To whereas before they were under the priest, now they're elevated.
This is when they begin to call them mores and stuff like teachers.
Yes, and so what happened was, what we today think of as Judaism, that the Israelis practice over there now, where there's this mention of an oral law that was given to Moses and all that. This was started there. This was started among
the rabbis
Bruce
and whatnot.
Yes, this was not started by Khazars.
No, yeah.
Okay,
Right, yeah.
this wickedness was started by brews among brews.
Mm-hmm.
Those Khazars converted
Mm-hmm.
into this system that was initiated in the Babylonian captivity.
Mm-hmm.
This Mishnah, it began as the Mishnah,
Mm-hmm.
and after the Babylonian captivity, then they came back and began writing those things down.
Mm-hmm.
And so that Mishnah and that oral law came together as friendly neighborhood Gentile.
That name too.
Yes, you are
Mhm.
100% correct. And so those things later on
Mhm.
combined and became what they now use as the Talmud.
Mhm.
Okay. But yes, that's where that started in Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Koti said, I believe that was all in Babylon. It's supposed to be a continuation of Daniel's story, but it was in the small city where the Hebrews reside, had their own court. Cain.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. And that was the beautiful thing about it was Nebuchadnezzar allowed
Mm-hmm.
the brews, and these was Yehudim specifically, right? Sis? These, because remember the 10 tribes was already gone somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So they were allowed to govern themselves.
Well, yeah, but see, that's what makes this last captivity, the sixth captivity. Is it 6 or 7? I think
The
7,
last.
the last. That's what makes this captivity stand apart from the others. Because even in Egypt, when things got a little hairy, it wasn't like our captivity here in America.
100%.
But it was the closest, which is why I refer to this captivity as America, because before then, Egypt was our worst captivity when they was, killing the babies, cutting the sons out the mothers, feed them to the alligators. That kind of stuff happening. And I'm gonna cause you to go into Egypt again. Which, if you ever wanted to know which captivity he was prophesying about, the captivity
this is the one
that
was matches that.
Exactly
where you were treated with utter disrespect
just
and disdain.
We wasn't treated like that in no other captivity. Persia, Assyria,
Nope.
none of those other captivities was we treated so inhumanely. So Abiyah said, you know what? I'm gonna bring Egypt upon you again. And that's a clear sign.
Synonymous with hard bondage.
Mm-hmm.
Egypt.
Mm-hmm. If you ever wanted to know which captivity fit that prophecy, the Deuteronomy 28 prophecy.
Yes, indeed. Good stuff here, fam. Like I say, this gets better and better. Gets better and better. It gets deep. All right. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Told out for y'all that show up to fellowship and hang out with us live during the live stream. Told out for all of you guys who tune in for the replay after my son comes do his thing on the editing, add and tweak a little bit here and there, and we repost it to share later. Do us a favor, fam. If you think that these have value and you know other people that can benefit from these read-throughs, share it. Share it with someone else. There's a lot of people out there doing the work. This is just our little portion of trying to help build the body and esteem Yahuwah, Bahasham Yahushua. So, yeah. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right. Toda Indigo for helping with the reading today. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we in there now. Family, y'all willing, we will see y'all next month.
Shabbat shalom, fam.
Shabbat shalom. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Love y'all.
Shalom.
TZ's cover 4 corners of my garment. Greet me with shalom before you step into my carpet. Y'all is not the author of confusion. I beg your pardon, but Yahuwah Zabaoth can stop it before it's even thought about. Think of